Monday, the 21st day in the month of March, 2022. Right. Good morning to you and welcome to Up and Go here on the Bridge 99 FM. My name is Richie B.
Good morning, Bridge Nation. You know this is your boy Shellz.
Good morning, Bridge Nation. It is your girl, Queen JoJo.
And we're going to be here together until 10 o'clock this morning to make sure that we get you up, get you fed, get you dressed, give you some music, and get you on to a great start to your day.
Right.
Which is right.
All right. Everybody got a call to say, hey, have you reached work on time and safe? I'm just wondering.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Shellz.
Yeah, I got mine.
You got yours?
Yeah, I got mine.
Everybody good?
Everybody good.
How was the weekend, guys?
It was good. It was a nice like a trial run. It was weird.
Outside?
Yeah, the outside trial run.
I stayed inside.
Yeah, I did too.
I made sure of that because as early as Friday afternoon leaving work, the crazies were out in regards to the driving and the recklessness, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm going home, and I suggest other people stay home too.
It was weird.
Seems that many people found ways to herald the change.
Exactly.
A lot of person may, but I'm just saying, while we're excited to be outside, I want us to be responsible to Richie.
Absolutely. Do you think the days of wearing masks, they're not behind us?
No.
It's still suggested that we do that.
Especially if you're going to be going around persons, a lot of persons, crowd of people. I would suggest you keep your mask on because it's not like COVID doesn't exist anymore.
Exactly. And speaking of crowds, I think I have a phobia now.
What's that?
No phobia of crowds. I don't know if that's a thing, but like I was watching, I was living vicariously through people, and I see the crowds. I was like, nope. Yeah.
No man. Oddly, I see you have your mask.
Which is right.
My mask is
under your chin.
No, well,
just to be able to speak. Yeah.
Right. My mask is a part of me.
Yeah.
You're still masking.
I'm still a mask.
Masking the mask, my friend.
All right. Well, that's how it is. But, one of the things I wanted to highlight at the top of the show, and that is the concern I have in terms of how many lives we're losing on the streets, on the roads.
Yeah.
There are simply too many accidents, and careless driving is pretty much the reason for all of this to be taken. There were several accidents, fatal crashes on the weekend alone. Between Friday and even last night I was seeing another one, I think, on the stretch down to going towards Montego Bay.
Wow.
We are losing too many lives on the roads, man. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I don't know what you have to do to convince persons to be careful and respect your life. It's your life, and you're putting your own life at risk and other people too. So what are we supposed to do to convince you to be careful?
I don't know. But strategies maybe need to be looked at again, because what is out there is not working. People are just losing. We're losing too many lives on the roads. So our condolences to those who are mourning the loss of loved ones this morning. We definitely are with you all the way. Stay strong, and we're praying for you. Time for
WTF, and that is What the Fact.
Okay,
boy.
It's that time. I think Shellz gave a hint as to what we're looking at, and it's about the wood frog. And if you ever wondered how long can a wood frog hold its pee, meaning its urine, it's not for 8 minutes.
Nope.
It's not for 8 days.
No, sir.
It's not for 8. Well, I should have said hours before days. But worse, it's not for 8 weeks.
No.
But a wood frog can hold its pee. Tell them, Shellz.
Up to 8 months.
You're not lying, are you?
Nope, it's on the paper. Okay. It's on the paper, it's true.
Authentic source.
Yeah.
Talk about having to go. Wood frogs in Alaska have been known to hold their urine for up to 8 months, sticking it out through the region's long winters before relieving themselves once temperatures increase. Yeah.
Wow.
The urine actually helps keep the animal alive while it hibernates, with special microbes in their gut that recycle the urea into nitrogen. They're obviously not humans.
Interesting.
Those are frogs.
Interesting. It makes sense. But my question is, Richie, and to the Bridge Nation, is it when the scientists are just knowing for just easy themselves, like how them come across this knowledge? Like, who sit down and go study?
And they have some counterparts, producer. But when you get right down to it, we have to thank them for the work that they've put in, because they're allowing us to add a very important element to the program. Because who would have thought that the day would come when we're looking at urinary retention in wood frogs on the program? You know what I mean?
Well, Richie, let me tell you, those frogs have some strong kidney.
Yeah, and then bladder. By the way, Shellz, no bladder issues after that 8 months of holding the urine?
No, it helps to keep them alive.
Oh, my goodness. So you can imagine a human being having those problems for a day or so, and they're having major health issues. But these are frogs we're talking about here.
Yeah, boy.
It is a fact, ladies and gentlemen, and you just got it. That was
What the Fact.
It's update time.
That's right.
All right, Jody.
Good morning, Bridge Nation. You know it's the first update of the morning. Sister Nancy in Australia for Queen of the Dancehall concert series. Yes. So the dancehall legend Sister Nancy has touched down in Australia for a 4-concert series. The series begins, it began last night at the Red Rattler in Sydney, and it sees the Bam Bam singer performing alongside the Legal Shot sound system from France at what has been described as a sold-out show by the organizers, right? So Sister Nancy, who celebrated her 60th birthday on January 2, announced her arrival down under in an Instagram post and noted that she had spent almost an entire day traveling to get there. So we can expect more. So it began on Friday, right? And it's going to go all the way up until this Thursday.
Oh, fantastic.
So it is a concert series with Sister Nancy doing what she does best.
It's all about the power of a song.
Yes,
When you have a song as big as that, you don't even need another.
It will never, she'll forever get food from it. That's much I know. And I think that is important. And I hope that artists are paying attention to this, that your music must be timeless.
There it is, right?
Yes. And so will your money.
Yeah, see that? Well, that's a nice little way to segue into this update. Speaking of timeless music and timeless money, like when dancehall producer go out there and say they want their money for certain things, you know. Because in this case, Despacito lawyers respond to copyright lawsuit brought by dancehall producers Steely and Clevie. Now, on Friday, March 18th, the attorneys for Despacito singer Louis Fonzi responded to dancehall label Steely and Clevie's Fish Market and Dembow copyright infringement lawsuit, pleading that they have not engaged in any type of infringement, that there is no actionable similarity between the works at issue, and by and large, that they deny knowledge or information sufficient to respond to the majority of the allegations, that is. The lawsuit was filed in October last year in a California district court, and last year resubmitted on January 18th this year, according to the complaint obtained by Dancehall magazine. The lawsuit alleges that several songs of the reggaeton singer's songs, including Despacito, the song with the most views, the most viewed music video on YouTube, infringed on the dancehall production house's intellectual property rights for their 1989 rhythm entitled Fish Market, also known as Pokemon Jam, but known internationally as Dembow after Shabarang's hit track. Now, there are other songs on it as well called Besame, Calypso, De La Vuelta, and you hear my Spanish, Enchame, La Culpa, Impossible, Perfecta, Sola, Vacío are all listed as having it allegedly infringed on the Fish Market rhythm. So there's a little lawsuit going on, there's a little fight.
Yep. I want them to win.
Let's hope everything work out the right way.
You think it was only Ed Sheeran having problems?
No.
There are other people too.
Yep. So all the best, for Clevie.
In fact, one of the things we're going to do after update right here is to play one or two songs from that whole Dembow, that Pokemon Jam kind of vibe, so people can get a chance. And we're also going to play Despacito.
Yeah, so we can understand
it better. Yeah, man. But I hope they win.
Yeah.
If they have a case, I do hope they win.
Yeah, man. I saw a producer them for stand up for them work and artists in general. Yeah,
Trust me. All right. There's one here on Kanye West. Kanye, by now, most people might have heard, has been pulled from the performances at the Grammys.
That's my bro.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They're having issues with his online behavior.
Yeah.
And they say it's concerning online behavior that has made them take this decision. In addition to that, there's speculation that the spat that he has had with Trevor Noah, who has been drafted in as the host for this year, makes it even more problematic.
Yeah.
And as a result, they have decided that they're going to pull Kanye from the Grammys. I know that Jody can't wait to get in, but just by extension, we can tell our listeners also that there's an offer somewhere in the region of $60 million on the table for not just Kanye, but you guessed it, for Pete as well, to participate in a boxing match.
Oh my God, that would be dope.
I knew it.
That would
So Jake Paul wants to make Kanye West versus Pete Davidson a reality in the ring. And so he's putting $30 million apiece on the table. And he will go give them percentages of the earnings from pay-per-view and so on. How do you think a fight like that would go?
I think Pete should stay away.
Comedy.
Yeah, that's
Straight
comedy.
comedy.
Pete not going to do it though. Pete know better.
All they have to do is to take some lessons from Money Mayweather, man, and they're good to go.
Probably.
Yeah, just skip around the ring 2 times and juke 1 or 2 times, and you're good.
Bob and weave.
80 million and more. Yeah. So that is the latest that we have. But your comment.
All right. So in regards to the Grammy pulling Kanye from the Grammy award because they assume that Trevor Noah and they might have a spot. It's so funny after the Grammy posted that, Trevor Noah said, "I said counsel him, not cancel him." Ooh. So he tweeted that Trevor Noah said, "I said counsel him, not cancel him." I think and it goes back to race, and I don't care who have a problem with it. I think it is so easy for us to cancel black men, black women when they misbehave. But white people for years, white celebrities have been misbehaving and just be saying and talking out the side of their mouths. And you're like, who is going to reprimand them? They perform and it's a big deal. But as soon as, a dark-skinned girl or boy act up, we have to reprimand them. You're not going to be a part of our show. And that's it.
But Jojo, please bear in mind the last time Kanye had a little flare up at an award show. We all know what happened. So I guess that's enough merit. Yeah, you don't want him show. I'm gonna let you finish, but you see me when I go, then I want to spare, I want to risk that. So,
but it's unfortunate. But I think one of the things I've realized in just paying attention to all like the major celebrities, Jay-Z's one of them, and Jay-Z's like, the Grammys what? I don't care. What is the Grammy?
It's unfortunate that is the kind of reaction that many people are now giving.
Yeah, it's like the Grammys.
Look how many people, The Weeknd, Drake, all of these big names have pulled away from the Grammys. There are some rappers who are coming to Kanye's defense. In fact, Soulja Boy took it a step further than the others. He's threatening Pete Davidson in the interest of Kanye West. So it looks like things are kind of spiraling out of control.
Right.
Definitely.
With Soulja Boy, it would.
We'll keep you all updated here on Update.
Yes, that's right.
Right now, it's time for
Proverb of the Day.
Take it away.
Okay, so Rainford is going to play it for us. Fat and frog for snake. One more time. Fat and frog for snake. So our proverb is very short this morning, and it says fattening frog for snake. And the meaning is taking care of a man/woman for another person to enjoy. So you're fattening frog for snake.
Wow. Hold on. It works both ways.
Of course. So you have women. Yes, oddly it works both ways. Wow. You have women who take care of men, and then another woman is like, thank you. I appreciate it.
Them things are really going.
Oh.
All right, Richie.
Very much happening. So be careful how you find. Sure, that's what you call it.
Wow.
So we were accustomed to fattening cockroach for what again? Fowl.
For fowl,
no,
right.
Or fatten fowl for
so this is from the Bahamas.
Fowl.
foul for mongoose.
Foul for
Okay, I know
mongoose,
that one.
yeah. And cockroach for foul. That's why, we're accustomed to those. But where's that one from, by the way?
This is from the Bahamas.
Okay.
Right.
So fattening frog for snake.
Yeah.
So be careful. Oh, you're fattening frog for snake out there.
Yeah.
Be real careful.
Something might be going on that you don't even know about. All right, that was a nice one. Yep. Proverb of the day. Join us again tomorrow morning at same time for another proverb of the day.
Right.
And we segue to
our pet peeve. All right, so this morning I'm sharing my pet peeve.
Oh,
and we
boy.
know what pet peeves are. They're things that are annoying, irritating, or even upsetting. And I just have to, I love the fact that Richie brought up the in the first hour segment about how reckless we are behaving on the road as drivers. And I experienced that Friday going home. I saw, and this is my pet peeve, I saw a taxi man weaving in and out of the traffic. And I'm like, nobody's in there. I want to tell you the back of his vehicle is crushed up like paper. Right? Okay. So that must tell you that he has been in an accident before. And he kept weaving in and out. And I just hold my breath because I'm like, and then I saw him weave over, pull over and let out somebody. And I said to myself, you mean to tell me that there are passengers in there? Wow. That is sitting down and allowing somebody to be irresponsible with their life? That is my pet peeve. Person sitting down and being quiet while somebody else is putting their life at risk. We have to start speaking up. I know that we're afraid to be left on the side of the road. We're afraid of confrontation. Not me, but some of us are afraid of confrontation and afraid, you know, the taxi man might say something, but your life is more important. And that's my pet peeve this morning. Persons sitting down and allowing persons to be irresponsible with their lives.
Yeah. Important one.
Yeah.
Important point you made, Jody. And you know, I was listening to some conversations in the WhatsApp group with the taxi peeps and others, how the roads stay, and they were also bemoaning the fact that so many quote unquote shutter drivers are on the roads. They were talking about what the number of accidents that have been happening on the Washington Boulevard. Several have been taking place over there too. But then again, the other issue is when you're in a vehicle like that and the driver behaving so badly, will they really stop and let you out even if you ask? Because we have seen where police was chasing one some time ago. You remember that one? And for minutes he was just driving at top speed and not stopping. So that's another part of the issue.
Whichever vehicle I'm in and I ask that driver to stop, he's going to stop.
If not, you grab that steering wheel.
Sir, you're going to stop. And there's so much more. I speak to you off air. A friend of mine shared her experience last week with a taxi driver heading home, and there's something needs to be put in place to protect our passengers because some of these taxi men are hiding as taxi men and they're criminals. So we have to be really careful and mindful.
Whatever we can do to avoid all of these accidents, man. Too many lives are being lost on our roads. I thank you for that, putting it forward this morning as your pet peeve. And I'm sure that that is something that many people can relate to. It is, in fact, Monday, the 21st day in the month of March 2022. And this is Up and Go. My name is Richie B.
And this is your boy, Shellz.
And Shellz, we're going to be talking with Minister of Government, the Honorable Floyd Green, who is the Minister without portfolio in the Office of the Prime Minister. I should tell the listeners and our Bridge Nation that residents of Kingston and St. Andrew could have their National Identification System, Nids, cards as early as August of this year, when the pilot program is expected to be rolled out in both of these parishes. This is following following the pilot, there will be an island-wide rollout of the identification system late this year to early 2023. To give us all the details and an update, we're joined at this time by Minister Floyd Green. Morning, Minister.
Good morning, Minister.
Good morning, guys.
How are you today?
Not too bad. Good morning to all the listeners.
All right, we're happy to have you on the program. Let's get right to it, Minister. This, you'd have to say, is the second coming of Nids, but it seems to be like there are less concerns about it at this time. First of all, can you just explain to our listeners what Nids is all about and what is its purpose?
Yes, no problem. So, for a very long time, we've spoken about needing to be able to identify our people, especially to ensure that government can work efficiently and effectively. So what our national identification system is is creating a database of identity so that our citizens are able to effectively identify themselves. What we've done over time is because we haven't had a national database for identity, that we have used a number of other forms of identity as that verification tool. So we have used our Photos ID, which a lot of people call their national ID. Sometimes we've used our passport. But when you realize that it isn't the most effective way, is when you see that despite having, for example, your voter's ID and you go into a bank to open a bank account, you are consistently asked to do more to prove that you are who you say you are. So oftentimes there's a request for 2 unique identifiers, or there's a request for a JP letter to confirm that you are who you say you are, or there's a request for a photograph where the Justice of the Peace signs the back to say to people that your identity is in fact true. The National Identification System will remove all of that because by law what it says is that once you, Richie B, present your national identification card, then that is sufficient to prove that you are who you say you are. So really what we're doing is really setting up a database that will ensure that you can identify yourself in an effective and efficient manner.
Mm-hmm. We are, though, Minister, living in an age where we've heard many times of a person's identity being stolen. Many people are concerned about how the government will, in fact, handle their private information. So my question is, what are your plans in terms of encouraging trust in the government and the national identification system?
And that's a very important question. And this is why we need a database that is really set up for a specific purpose. And in this case, it's in relation to identity. That means that we will put in the safeguards that are necessary to make it much, much more difficult for those who would want to steal their identity and pretend that they are you. So, in a sense, this is the first law, Richie, that says in the legislation that the information that you have will be encrypted on entry. What does that mean? So let's just say you go to sign up for your national ID and you give your name and where you live and your date of birth. Once it is put into the system, somebody who is not authorized to see your information will not be able to because it will be automatically encrypted. And only those who have authorization will be able to decipher the encryption. Additionally, we've put in the law specific penalties for those who would want to try to access that information without authority. So, people can get up to 3 years in prison, $3 million fine, and we've gone a bit further. So we have ensured that we have independent oversight, not on one level, but actually on 2 levels. So one, we are going to be setting up an inspectorate for National Identification System, and the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, which I think all of us are very happy with the work that they have done in transforming our electoral system. They will act as an inspector to ensure that we're living up to the privacy standards that we have set. Plus, the National Identification System now comes about under the Data Protection Act. So for those of us who don't know, we now have a Data Protection Act that is in force that mandates how the data of all of us can be handled. And we have an information commissioner who has powers granted by Parliament to review those systems. And Richard, this is important not just for you or for people looking on, but the reality is that this National Identification Database will have my information. It will have the Prime Minister's information. It will have my son's information. So we are going to the full extent to ensure that we really do protect the data that's there.
Okay. Good morning again, Minister. Shellz here. Yes. Just a couple questions for me, from me. I'm curious, who'd be in charge of managing the system? I heard a couple names and government bodies being, mentioned, but who would be in charge of managing the system?
Yeah, so it's a good question. We're setting up a new authority. It's the National Identification Registration Authority. What we will do is really morph our Registrar's General Department into what we will call the NERA. So the Registrar General's Department would be an entity under the National Identification Registration Authority. So what you will have in real terms is a one-stop shop that will deal with identity from birth straight through to the transition. So that is the entity, but you will have oversight from the ECJ, that will be the inspector, and also oversight from the Information Commissioner.
Okay, and also, Minister, we know Jamaicans, we know our people, and we also love our people. But not many persons will willingly accept NIDS. What would happen to persons who decide to refuse NIDS?
Well, Richie made a point when we started that NIDS has gone through a number of phases, and now it's a lot more palatable than before. And I think that has come about because, one, the process that we've taken to arrive at this version of our national identification system. So, one, we had a joint select committee of parliament, which had both houses of government, and both government and opposition, sitting together to look at the provisions of the bill. So, when the national identification system came to parliament, there was agreement right across. And people, regular people, people who are passionate about computer science were able to give their opinions, and that was taken into account to form the national identification system now. So it is voluntary. Nobody will be forced to join the national identification system. But clearly what we will do is to ensure that it is useful, that it is purposeful. What I have found, Shellz, is that if you can show Jamaican people practically how this will make their life easier, then people will come on board. So, for example, as it is now, you go to the bank, it's so difficult to form a bank account, and largely because of the issue of identification. What we want to be able to do is that once you have your national identification card, you automatically will be able to form what we call a low KYC account. So an account with the bank that is limited by the figure that you can deposit, but it will be automatic. I think things of that nature will say to Jamaicans that this makes sense. Additionally, there are so many processes now that we can only do part of it online. In other words, we fill up the form, but we still have to print it, we still have to sign it, and we still have to journey to the office to get it done. The national identification system will come with your digital signature. So what it means is that we will be able now to do whole processes without having to go into the office. So what you will see is that this will unleash a whole new world of digital transformation in our country. And I genuinely believe that when you show Jamaicans the benefits, they will come on board.
To avoid any form of ambiguity, Minister Green, are you saying this morning that there are no plans by the government to make it mandatory for persons, citizens, to get on this NIDS system?
There are no plans to make it mandatory. It is voluntary by law. We have indicated that people have to elect to sign up for the national identification system. And again, this came to a position of listening to the people. And I think we all know Jamaicans, we don't want to feel like we are forced to do anything, regardless of what it is. We want to be able to review it and make our own decisions.
Yes.
And clearly, what we'll be able to show people is not only that it's effective, not only to make your life more efficient, but also that it is safe. And I think that's important for people to give you an idea. Let us say our best national identification card now, which would be our voter's ID, has probably about 10 security features in the card itself. We have gone to the full extent to ensure that a national identification card, once printed, will not be the best in Jamaica, but would be one of the best in the world. And we've put in place 26 security features in our national identification card, which says to you, not only have we listened to the people in relation to their concerns about safety, but that we've taken those concerns into account in designing the system.
Yeah. I understand that Cabinet has now approved an implementation task force. Can you say what is the construct of this task force and whether or not critical agencies like the Tax Administration of Jamaica and even the Ministry of Labor are involved in this task force?
Absolutely. So, we're taking an all-hands-on-deck approach. And again, what we see the National Identification Card as is really the key to transform Jamaica into the digital age. So we will have an implementation task force. What you will do is really look at the uses of the identification card and how across government and the private sector we're organizing our systems to use the national ID to make life easier. So you will have the Tax Administration of Jamaica, you will have the Ministry of Labor, you will have other essential government entities like eGov, but importantly, you'll also have the private sector. So you will have the PSOJ, you will have our Bankers Association, and you will have the voice of the youth represented on the implementation task force. And they will sit down and they will look at what do we need to do to ensure, again, that the card is effective. What are those use cases? Like, can I give an example? Again, imagine a world in which you don't need a separate card to prove that you are licensed to operate a motor vehicle. But all of that information can be collected on one card, which is your national identification card. Imagine the savings if we would not have to print a separate driver's license. Imagine a world that you could get your motor vehicle certificate online using your national identification card to unlock that system. Yeah. We're not there yet, but that's where we want to go. Okay. So the implementation task force will drive the implementation of a number of these systems.
Okay. This is just, I suspect, one aspect of your portfolio, Minister Green. Yeah. Although they refer to it as minister without portfolio. You don't have a problem with that?
No, not at all. Clearly, this one of the primary things that I'm treating with is the concept of digital transformation, of which our national ID forms an important part, but also the RGD. We have a number of programs that we'll be unveiling under the Registrar General Department. We have about 300,000 Jamaicans, Richie, that for a number of different reasons, they have not gotten a birth certificate. Wow. Largely because they're never got to that birth and they're unable to afford it going forward. And if you're from the rural areas, you come across them quite a lot. So we're going to be working on a program to really get those people their birth certificates. But I would say one of the most important things that Prime Minister has asked us to focus on is our social partnership. So I am in charge of pulling together our private sector, our NGO community, the opposition, our labor movement, to look at critical issues around which we need to build consensus. Yeah. And, something that I take very seriously and we're working very hard on as we seek to recover stronger from the COVID-19 pandemic.
Most definitely. I haven't spoken to you on air since your return to the political arena, and I want to say welcome back.
Yes, sir.
And I wish you all the very, very best. Although you seem to have been back in the news recently based on your appearance at Shensia's party, are you really going to pay that $100,000?
well, Richie, I'm the type of person that if the Prime Minister gives a mandate and indicates that this is the direction, then we all fall in line.
You will comply. Yeah. All right. But I must put it out there, though, that I did see pictures of you wearing the mask at the function, although some came out with you apparently taking a photograph without it.
Yeah, well, I have learned.
Yes. All right, Floyd Green, great.
I did take it off.
Great talking with you, and have a great day.
Give thanks.
Anytime, Richard. Thanks, Shellz.
Yeah, man,
always a pleasure. Take care. All right. Sorry, Jody, that was not on the script. But, every now and again we go off script.
Yeah.
How you like the way you answered that?
Very well done. Very well done.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hello.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Sounds that way.
I was listening to the radio on my way to work, and I think I have an answer for that clue based on the sound.
I hope you have the answer. We're really desperately trying to make this giveaway. What's your name?
Ronaldo Williams.
Mr. Williams.
Blessings.
Yes.
All right, Sir Will. Let us hear what your answer is. Do you want to hear the sound again?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, listen carefully. Listen. And by now, I suspect you have heard the clues. Sir Will, what is your answer this morning in the Secret Sound game?
All right. To me, it sounds like someone walking in the woods or in the forest or something like that.
Walking in the woods or in the forest, stepping maybe on some trash or something?
Yep.
Yes, stepping on some trash, on some branches, some form of stuff like that.
Oh, so the branches might very well be green. And you're thinking that is the sound that... Is it the first time you're trying this game?
Yes, it's the first time.
Have we had a first-time winner yet? Mr. Williams, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from St. Mary.
All right. Nice. Well, listen, sir. Listen. That means that means you're not a winner, Sir Will. Sorry about that. Have a great day and safe journey. All right, take care. Have a good one.
Wow,
that's the sound they don't want to hear. Oh boy. Anyway, we're going to try to make sure that this week somehow, even if we have to find another clue, which is under construction but not ready for airplay, we will share it as soon as it's ready. And you'll get a chance to hear. All right, that was our Secret Sound game. It's now 23 minutes before the hour of 8 o'clock. We run out of time so quickly when we're trying to do this giveaway.
Good morning, Annalease.
Good morning.
Morning, Annalease. We're here with you. My name is Richie B, and of course, you'd have heard Shellz hailing you at first.
Yes, sir.
And I think you're quite anxious to get into this chat, so go right ahead, son.
Annalease, first and foremost, congratulations. I like speaking with students, who are doing well. I'm going to make a quick, what do I call that? A disclaimer. I wasn't the best of students. I'm one of them students where you should just do them after them with the Richie. But seeing stories like Annalease, I'm just like, yo, the future is in good hands. So congratulations, Annalease, and very well done. No, but what I want to know is, what are some of the challenges you had to overcome as a high school student in your community?
One of the largest challenges for me was getting motivation and not being impacted by my environment. I'm a very intrinsically motivated person, meaning that my motivation is not from those around me, but from my own determination to succeed. And it took me a while to find this motivation, but after finding it, I had to learn to harness it and work to discipline myself, because I knew that for my future, I had to work hard.
For your future, I like that. For your future, you had to work hard. You mentioned the motivation you had to find to power through. What was that motivation, if you don't mind me asking?
My motivation was leaving where I am. I want to step up in life, and I want to bring my family up with me.
Wow, powerful, Richie.
Yeah, I like the way she expresses herself. We can't fault her for saying that at all.
Yeah.
Annalease, I understand that Yutes for Change, the foundation that is, played a role in your development and your success. Can you sort of shed some light on that?
My involvement with this foundation began in 5th grade when I competed in their very first spelling bee. I won it, but I was too young at the time to join the foundation. So the next year, I also competed and once again won the spelling bee. I was like, I'm really going to join this group, but I was still too young. So I had to wait until 7th grade when I was like 11. I joined their foundation, and they quickly realized that I was a very capable person, so I became their secretary. I was the youngest member of their executive body, and it was kind of a lot, but it also taught me responsibility towards my roles and helped me to grow as a person, as I realized that there are things bigger than me that need to be done, and I should work hard to achieve those things.
Wow. Fantastic. From where you are now, take us... if you will, 5 years down the line, and where do you see yourself in the next, say, 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I think I will have completed my bachelor's by then, and I would have been working in a job in the field that I'm interested in at the moment, which is technology with a specialization in cybersecurity. So 5 years down the line, I see myself working in a career that will continue to push me forward.
Wow. Richie, do you hear the conviction in her voice? She knows what she wants and she's going for it.
I'm impressed.
So am I. Annalease, I want you to use that same powerful voice because you really do have a very powerful voice, and we give thanks for that. I want you to share a message, with teenagers, young people who are, trying their best to be successful, in school, despite the odds that are being stacked against them.
I think as young people, we often hear very empty messages that are said by people who we see as having way more than us. They tell us, oh, you need to work hard, you need to do this, you need to do that. But when we look at them, it seems as if they've already achieved it all. So it's like, wow, you are talking down to me. You have it already. What can you tell me? But I think that we should listen to them because I don't think they've always had it all. I do not think that anyone is born with everything unless your parents are insanely rich. I think we as young people need to realize that looking for others' approval constantly and working with other people to find our motivation to succeed can't work forever. At some point in time, we have to rise up and realize that our only motivation to succeed should not be impressing those around us, but should be our own advancement. And once we realize this, we can do anything.
Wow. By the way, for those who are just joining us, you're listening there to powerful words delivered by a sixth form student at Immaculate Conception High School. That's where she's at. And we're just so encouraged.
Wow.
If not motivated.
Oh, trust me.
Annalease, we really, really enjoyed talking with you. Proud of what you've achieved so far, and I know that you'll continue to do well. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we'll definitely be monitoring your progress. Thank you for talking with us this morning.
Thank you so much, Annalease.
It was my pleasure.
All right, have a good day. So we allow her to go into her classes and all that, right? Powerful stuff.
I don't know why, but I feel like Jojo have no book around there. Feel like I never read from morning. I need to get on that.
You all I read from morning.
Good morning, Annalease.
Good morning.
Morning, Annalease. We're here with you. My name is Richie B, and of course, you'd have heard Shellz hailing you at first.
Yes, sir.
And I think you're quite anxious to get into this chat, so go right ahead, son.
Annalease, first and foremost, congratulations. I like speaking with students, who are doing well. I'm going to make a quick, what do I call that? A disclaimer. I wasn't the best of students. I'm one of them students where you should just do them after them with the Richie. But seeing stories like Annalease, I'm just like, yo, the future is in good hands. So congratulations, Annalease, and very well done. No, but what I want to know is, what are some of the challenges you had to overcome as a high school student in your community?
One of the largest challenges for me was getting motivation and not being impacted by my environment. I'm a very intrinsically motivated person, meaning that my motivation is not from those around me, but from my own determination to succeed. And it took me a while to find this motivation, but after finding it, I had to learn to harness it and work with it to discipline myself because I knew that for my future, I had to work hard.
For your future, I like that. For your future, you had to work hard. You mentioned the motivation you had to find to power through. What was that motivation, if you don't mind me asking?
My motivation was leaving where I am. I want to step up in life, and I want to bring my family up with me.
Wow, powerful, Richie?
Yeah, I like the way she expresses herself. We can't fault her for saying that at all. Annalease, I understand that Yutes for Change, the foundation that is, played a role in your development and your success. Can you sort of shed some light on that?
My involvement with this foundation began in 5th grade when I competed in their very first spelling bee. I won it, but I was too young at the time to join the foundation. So the next year, I also competed and once again won the spelling bee. I was like, I'm really going to join this group, but I was still too young. So I had to wait until 7th grade when I was like 11. I joined their foundation, and they quickly realized that I was a very capable person, so I became their secretary. I was the youngest member of their executive body, and it was kind of a lot, but it also taught me responsibility towards my roles and helped me to grow as a person, as I realized that there are things bigger than me that need to be done, and I should work hard to achieve those things.
Wow. Fantastic. From where you are now, take us, if you will, 5 years down the line, and where do you see yourself in the next, say, 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I think I will have completed my bachelor's by then, and I would have been working in a job in the field that I'm interested in at the moment, which is technology with a specialization in cybersecurity. So 5 years down the line, I see myself working in a career that will continue to push me forward.
Wow. Richie, do you hear the conviction in her voice? She knows what she wants and she's going for it.
I'm impressed.
So am I. Annalease, I want you to use that same powerful voice, because you really do have a very powerful voice, and we give thanks for that. I want you to share a message, with teenagers, young people who are, trying their best to be successful, in school, despite the odds that are being stacked against them.
I think as young people, we often hear very empty messages that are said by people who we see as having way more than us. They tell us, oh, you need to work hard, you need to do this, you need to do that. But when we look at them, it seems as if they've already achieved it all. So it's like, wow, you are talking down to me. You have it already. What can you tell me? But I think that we should listen to them, because I don't think they've always had it all. I do not think that anyone is born with everything unless your parents are insanely rich. I think we as young people need to realize that looking for others' approval constantly and working with other people to find our motivation to succeed can't work forever. At some point in time, we have to rise up and realize that our only motivation to succeed should not be impressing those around us, but should be our own advancement. And once we realize this, we can do anything.
Wow. By the way, for those who are just joining us, you're listening there to powerful words delivered by a sixth form student at Immaculate Conception High School. That's where she's at. And we're just so encouraged.
Wow.
If not motivated.
Oh, trust me.
Annalease, we really, really enjoyed talking with you. Proud of what you've achieved so far, and I know that you'll continue to do well. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we'll definitely be monitoring your progress. Thank you for talking with us this morning.
Thank you so much, Annalease.
It was my pleasure.
All right, have a good day. So we allow her to go into her classes and all that, right? Powerful stuff.
I don't know why, but I feel like, Jojo, have no book around there? Feel like I never read from morning. I need to get on that.
You all I read from morning.
Yes, we all know what's going on in Ukraine between them and Russia. We all know it's a lot of negative stories, but we have to give time and give thanks that we're able to highlight something positive coming out of it. Actors, very popular, I guess you can say, Ashton, Kutcher, and Mila, Kunis. Where a nice little power couple right there. Nice little story between them. They were able to raise $30 million through their Ukraine fundraiser recently to help with refugees fleeing Ukraine. And the reason why this was so passionate to them is because, of course, Mila Kunis has Ukrainian heritage.
That's right.
So I just had to highlight that, the mere fact that they took the time out to have a fundraiser and reach their $30 million goal.
That's excellent.
That's excellent.
Fantastic.
So
we commend them. We commend all of those families who are allowing Ukrainians into their homes.
Yes.
Even if it's temporarily, at least they're allowing them, because many of them are refugees. I think over 3 million of them in other countries around the world right now. So
it's crazy.
We give thanks for them.
Yeah, I agree. But what are your thoughts on the Russians who are seeking asylum?
Ooh.
Kind of, persons are like, we're not going to take them in because they could be moles or spy, but there are Russians who don't agree with what is happening and they're trying to flee as well. So that's such a sticky situation.
It is.
Yeah, people probably see it as like face value. Say, hey, no, we're not going to your country right now. I mean, you're just fleeing because you fear your leader.
Maybe they know something. Maybe they know something that we don't know.
That's true.
Because they're fleeing, and the U.S. turned back around 8 persons over the weekend from Russia. And
it's a sticky
no.
situation.
Ukrainians are putting up a fight, though. Many people thought that it would have been a bit of a walkover, and it's not happening like that. Right now, they're, I wouldn't say struggling, but they're slowly progressing in terms of taking over Mariupol. And Kyiv is still definitely in the hands of the Ukrainians.
Yep.
Many people are going back home to fight. You can imagine that?
Wow.
People going back to their country just to fight.
I tell Jamaica no, but that's start nothing. Fight. No war in no time.
Kabel se move. No, that go Ukraine itself. Oh boy. Well strapped and thing. Armed and dangerous. All right.
So Shansia is in the news. Still, it says, well, this one says that she breaks her silence on copyright lawsuit. I don't know how much silence she breaks. She was literally just made a tweet and say, you know what? She said, what reached me? Y'all still stupid for believing any and anything, bro. So that was her response.
That's all she said.
Yeah, that's all. That's what her response to a Twitter user. After she shared that they were saying, want some clarity on what is happening with the lawsuit, and she was like, everything I believe, I'm not stupid for believe that. But it's so funny, Richie, because they contacted Nids, and he confirmed that the lawsuit was filed on behalf of himself and his company, Traveling Man Production.
This is in relation to the song Lick.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
Right. So they're
copyright infringement, I guess, is
right.
What it's boiling down to.
So that's
I saw a report where they were saying that Shensia and Denise Belfon are good.
That's what confusing me.
I'm kind of confused.
But they're saying that there are other parties
involved
to the ownership of that song, and that is where what's his name comes in.
Nasty. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like we're not good. So but we're not good.
Yeah.
So
and they're going for $10 million US dollars.
Oh wow.
Yikes.
But wouldn't they have known though? Because if what's the lady's name? If she Denise was okay with it, wouldn't they have had some idea? Did they wait for it to be published too soon? Because I just feel like it's a plan.
Sometimes that happens because they're looking at maybe the bigger picture that we're not seeing.
They're waiting and say, no, wait, don't send
wait until it drop.
Wait till it drop and then no.
Make we see what she do.
We're running on it.
Make we see the album though.
It's weird.
This is why, to the point we made earlier, I'm happy that Shaggy, for instance, has come out and said, listen, I took care of Ika Mouse, for instance, in the using the melody in his new song, because
it's weird though. Do they have to do that publicly though? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's weird to me. Like, I feel like, just respect. Like, if Richie want artists and Richie want to use something, we work,
Work it out
through their
privately. But I think,
I don't know if it necessary.
in light of everything that has been happening, and sometimes people tell lie too and create rumors and stuff like that.
It's almost like a preemptive strike. You want to make sure
clarify and make sure, say, yo, I'm going to pay for this. It's legit kind of vibe. So that's important.
All right, final one inside of update. It has to do with what we've been talking about all morning, and that is the number of accidents on our roads, and the fact that we want to encourage persons to drive carefully and to avoid these accidents. One of the persons who passed on the weekend in one of these accidents was a popular social media influencer, Lexi D. Bess.
Yes.
And we express our condolences to Lexi's family. Now, interestingly enough, positive support to the arguments that we've been putting forward are coming out of one of our prisons. As a very famous prisoner, Vibes Cartel, Mr. Adija Palmer, has also been expressing himself, including expressing sympathy in relation to the fatal crash that took the life of Lexi DeBess and 3 other victims. Vibes Cartel, was questioning the circumstances surrounding the accident, and he was busy blasting the habit of speeding by Jamaicans. In fact, says Vibes Cartel, where people get out of speeding, where uno a rush a go, figure dead, especially with them paper carrier. You know what I mean? And that is the end of a quotation from Vibes Cartel coming straight out of our prisons, and he's concerned too. So it's like everybody is saying it and seeing it, and we have to keep talking about it.
Yeah.
And we will not stop talking, right?
No, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Too much, really is. Thank you very much. That was Update. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking now to one of our guests that we've been telling you about all morning, Mr. Ferris Jackson, who is a senior portfolio manager and in charge of global equities at Barita Investment Limited. Inside of the Global Connection, we will be talking with him. Now, let's just give you the backstory. The Consul General of Jamaica to New York, Mrs. Allison Wilson OD, has indicated to the Jamaica Stock Exchange that over the past few years, Jamaicans in New York and the diaspora have been seeking information, guidance, and support even on how to invest in Jamaica, how to invest in the Jamaica Stock Exchange, and so on. Last year, they partnered to host the first virtual Diaspora Investor Forum, where they had speakers from both Jamaica, mainly brokers, and financial companies based in the US of A. The second staging of this event will be held on the 23rd and 24th of March, beginning at 5 o'clock, going on till 7 o'clock on both days. To tell us more about it, we have Mr. Ferris Jackson, who we told you about earlier. Good morning, Mr. Jackson. Welcome to the program. How are you doing?
Yes, good morning, good morning. Thanks for having me. I'm very good, thank you.
You're talking the kind of subject matter that gets all of us really excited here, because you're talking investments and making money. Am I right, Mr. Jackson?
You're absolutely correct on that one.
All right. First of all, then, why did Barita Investments decide to participate in the second staging of the Diaspora Investor Forum?
Yes, it's a very good question. And as you mentioned at the top of your program, you know, many members of the diaspora or extended family have contributed significantly to Jamaica, over the Jamaican economy over the years. And they've also shown interest in terms of investing locally. So they are not just giving, they also want to get back out of the country. Mm-hmm. And Barita Investments Limited provides financial solutions that will assist them in achieving their objectives. So we provide financial solutions to our clients through our different business segments: investment banking, brokerage and securities trading, wealth management and asset management, as well as foreign exchange trading. Mm-hmm. So when you think of Barita, you think of financial solutions.
How successful would you say Barita Investments has been over the past, say, 2 years amidst the COVID-19 pandemic? Were you able to achieve great success even amidst all of those challenges?
I would say we've done a very good job. I mean, we've achieved significant success. I mean, profit growth, 61% in 2020 and 47% in 2021. Yeah, and before that, it was 272%. And that's largely driven by the fact that we were acquired by Cornerstone Financial Holdings Limited, and through a series of capital raises, the business was able to retool and reposition itself and expand its presence in new business lines where we weren't active. Mm-hmm. So as a result of that, it has worked well for us throughout the pandemic.
Give thanks. Greetings, Mr. Jackson. Shellz here. I just want to know, what can the participants expect to learn from Barita Investment Limited at the Diaspora Investment Forum?
Yes, so the presentation is about navigating Jamaica's stock market to create wealth. Mm. So we are expecting a diverse audience. So we'll cover the basics of stocks, the current developments taking place. A lot has been happening recently. And we want to tell investors about how they can navigate this kind of market, and then the solutions that we offer at Barita to help them to navigate this kind of market.
I know that DJ Roy is listening in on the conversation. He's up there at Irish Jam Radio in New York City and would maybe want to say something to you. Roy?
Yeah. I had a lengthy conversation with our CJ here in New York on Saturday, like 35 minutes, about investment and what she was doing, and, of course, this conference is coming up. My question would be this. We here in the diaspora, we're busy. We want to invest. Do you get a personal broker to overlook your portfolio to make sure, when it's time to pull, it's time to pull. When it's time to invest, it's time to invest. Who watches over your portfolio when you're here in the States?
Yes, so we have advisors here who are assigned to clients, and they work actively with our research team. And our research team constantly monitors the market to look at current developments and make recommendations as to what our clients should do. And our advisors or your partners will naturally contact you to keep you abreast as to what's happening with your portfolio, as well as what's happening in terms of the current market environment. So we do have your advisors who work directly with you. And of course, you have different access points to communicate with us in order to get information and updates on your account as well.
I heard Richie, one second, Richie. I heard you speaking earlier, Richie, to a gentleman about, being able to open accounts in Jamaica. Doing business in Jamaica can be trying sometimes. How easy is it to get involved in investing in Jamaica?
Yes, I can understand. That's part of the challenge that we have in Jamaica, but we try to make that easy as possible for our clients. So you start the process online in terms of opening your account. You can go to barita.com, and then you start the process there. Then you submit the documents that are notarized if you are overseas. You submit them to Jamaica, and from there, we will complete the account opening process. The important thing is, though, that when you open the account, we try to make that easy and as seamless as possible for you, the client, to do business. So you get access to our advisors right throughout. And, of course, the important thing is also to keep you up to date and abreast as to what's happening. Because I can understand you're over there and you're not seeing exactly what's happening on the ground. But nonetheless, a lot of things are happening, and there are opportunities for you to take advantage of. So it's very important, and it's very important to us to ensure that our extended family overseas, they are fully satisfied when it comes to the service that we provide.
I'm sure you're heartened to hear that, Roy.
Definitely, because when you hear about how the Jamaica stock market is doing so well, and we're somewhat gambling sometime here in the States, why not do it at home? Why not do it at home?
Yeah. Mr. Jackson, I don't want to spill the beans or take tales out of school or anything like that, but you might want to consider having 2 portfolio managers when Roy calls you to handle his business.
I'll make a note of that.
Thank you, Richie, for giving the heads up, Richie. Thank you.
All right. So, just so you know, in all seriousness, though, Ferris, the final question for you is: how can persons in the diaspora contact Barita Investment representatives to get on board?
Yes, so we make ourselves available through many different means. Our website, barita.com. Then there's a Barita bot. That's our online chat access point where you can actually chat with us throughout the day. And that's the bot on our website. Then we're on social media. We're visible on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And, of course, you can WhatsApp us at 876-929-9506. That's 876-929-9506. And, of course, we have different branches. Additional information can be found on our website as to how you can contact us.
Cool. All right. Thank you so very much for being a part of the program this morning and for sharing the information as you did. The telephone number, once again, if you'd like to make contact with Barita Investments Limited, one of their representatives, can be reached at 876-929-9506. We had a really lively discussion this morning with Mr. Ferris Jackson. Ferris, thank you very much, and best wishes to yourself and to your team at Barita. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Great pleasure. And he's a senior portfolio manager, global equities at Barita Investments Limited. And to remind you that they do have the second staging of this investment forum on the 23rd and 24th of March, starting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon until 7. And there are participants in it. You might want to be checking that out, and you'll definitely learn how to save and invest, especially here in Jamaica.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.